On the 1st of December of 2021, a little girl goes missing in a local neighborhood. Eventually, a body is found and a family mourns. Since the rise of banditry and kidnapping in the recent decades, the crime being committed, especially in the north, has taken a darker turn. The northern part of Nigeria used to be known and loved for its simplicity and hospitality. But with the darker side of man showing its abyss as all too terrifying and too difficult to swallow, reminding us of the wickedness of man and his enslavement to greed. It's every parent's dream to watch their child grow and become a pillar of society, and teachers play a huge role in that development as they are next in line after the family for providing a safe haven for kids where they can learn and be nurtured. But this one teacher failed. This is the sad story of the murder of 5-year-old Hanifa Abubakar, a little girl who was kidnapped on her way back from school by a teacher and held for ransom before being killed. Allah says in the Quran, "Whosoever kills an innocent human being, it shall be as if he has killed all mankind. And whosoever saves the life of one, it shall be as if he had saved the life of all mankind." Quran 5, verse 32. Kano State, one of Nigeria's most populated states and one of the largest industrial states, second only to Lagos. Kano State is one with a rich history and a strong pillar of the north as we know it today, with its history going as far back as the Kano Emirate, which was established as an Islamic state in 1805 during the Jihad of Uthman Dan Fodio, having relations with Kano Kingdom, which is believed to have been established in the year 999 by Bagauda, making it probably one of the oldest kingdoms and civilizations in Nigeria. Today's Kano State was established on the 24th of May in 1967. It has an area of 20,131 square kilometers. The state is predominantly occupied by Muslims, and it's an age-old custom for kids to go for Islamic studies outside the secular schools. These schools are called Islamiyas, and for the people of Dakata in Nasarawa local government area, this was the norms as well. On the 4th of December of 2021, at about 8:30 p.m., a report was made by residents of Dakata to the police about a ransom call in which 6 million naira was demanded following the disappearance of a 5-year-old girl. The day of the kidnapping had begun similarly at its usual pace. The kids gathered as usual to proceed to Islamia, and when they were done, were expected to have returned back home. But one child would never make it back. It was little Hanifa. At about 5 p.m., after closing off from school, there were 5 kids on their way back to their various homes who were offered a ride by an unidentified person in a tricycle. As if knowing and capitalizing on the love and excitement the kid had for riding on a tricycle, and without too much thought, the unsuspecting kids hopped in. All the other kids were set to make it home except Hanifa, with the unidentified person in question saying he wanted to take Hanifa on another ride. That was the last time she was seen alive. Hanifa could be described as a lively child, and from the videos, it was easy to see how bright and adorable she was. A child who would no doubt bring light to any gathering, making it so difficult for anyone to imagine how such a tragedy could befall her. Hanifa had attended the Dahir Bauchi Islamic School, a school that had different children in the area as attendees. According to a report made by Suraj Suleiman, an uncle of Hanifa, after the news of her disappearance was made known by her family, they began to receive support from neighbors and well-wishers. Among those would be 34-year-old Abdulmalik Tanko, the proprietor of Noble Kids Academy, the school Hanifa had attended prior her disappearance. He came with his heart in his hands, offering kind words of support with tears-filled eyes. But as time would show, there was nothing genuine in his actions. Few weeks after the report was made about Hanifa's disappearance, the Kano Police Command released a report. Superintendent announced that after a thorough investigation carried out by the police as well as other security agencies in the state, they had arrested 3 people in relation to Hanifa's disappearance. The first suspect was a teacher from her school who had paid her family a condolence visit. He was reported to have kept Hanifa in his house for 2 weeks before poisoning her to death. Following a confession given by Abdulmalik, he admitted to kidnapping and placing the call to her relatives after the kidnap. His motive for this crime was based on the fear that her little Hanifa had recognized him, and the police investigations were closing in on him. And on the 18th of December, it finally occurred to him that for sure, the child had indeed recognized him. A search party was organized by unsuspecting teachers in the school, and for reasons unknown, his residence was going to be visited. At this time, Hanifa was still alive, but fear and panic took over, knowing fully well that should his house be searched, Hanifa would be discovered. And in a feeble attempt to erase all traces of his involvement in the matter, he fed a young girl rat poison, which eventually led to her death, before butchering her and putting her remains in a sack and having her buried in a shallow grave in the school premises. Abdulmalik Tanko is a father and 1 to 3 daughters. He was described by his neighbors as a very reserved man, one who kept to himself most of the time. The only known person to have some kind of relation with him was the school guard as well as his accomplice, 37-year-old Hashim Isiako. Abdulmalik Tanko had conspired with him to dispose of Hanifa's body, which he took and buried in a shallow grave located in the school premises. He also went on to confess that the plan to kidnap Hanifa had been earlier proposed by the main suspect, Abdulmalik, a month before. This proposal was made to him and a woman, Fatima Jibril Musa, a 27-year-old woman, but their attempts were futile. Fatima Jibril, the third person in custody, was arrested for her prior involvement in the kidnapping. The suspects led a team of security agencies which included the DSS Kano State, Team of Operation Puff Ada, and a medical team of Kano State Police Command. The body was unearthed and then taken in for further examination before being released to the family for burial in accordance to Islamic laws. Despite the fact that kidnapping and banditry is yet to be classified as a federal crime and is still treated at the state level, Kano State successfully passed an amendment to the Abduction and Forced Labor Act of 1963. This bill was put into motion by Alhaji Yusuf Atta before being passed into law in 2016. The sentence for kidnappers who kill their victim is life imprisonment, and anyone found guilty of rape or forced labor will be sentenced to 15 years without an option of fine. We hope the suspects, if found guilty, are treated to the full extent of the law. Hanifa's death is a more recent case in the string of child abductions happening in the country. The rise in this type of crime is quite alarming, and the reality that even teachers who are pillars of a society and play a vital role in a child's development can't be trusted leaves one to wonder. Hanifa was only 5 years old at the time of her death. She was a small child. Her family is still in shock, and so are the members of their community. Her death was a huge loss to us all, and may her beautiful soul rest in peace. Our heartfelt condolences go out to the Abubakars. Investigations are still ongoing, and we will do an update when all is said and done and the court has given a ruling. The Nigerian legal system is in dire need of reforms, changes that will make a difference. For example, forcible sodomy, a case where a person is being forced into sexual activities with another person of the same sex. This crime has no legal ruling or recognition in our laws. Simply put, a man cannot rape another man as far as the law in Nigeria is concerned. This is a crime that has been reported in recent times, and it's happening. This needs to change. More stringent punishments need to be put in place in accordance to the general innovations, behavioral shifts, and changes in society. Once upon a time, life used to be simpler, values held, and people easily content. Times have changed that. Let the laws change too. Share your thoughts and comments with us in the comment section below. Remember, stay safe and stay blessed. For more contents like this, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Thanks for watching.